Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. But the other thing everyone is talking about is Starfield, all right? Because the review embargo lifted. Now, obviously you don't know who to believe. I did not get any story spoilers, which is great. I actually have no idea what the story of this game is, which is excellent. I can't wait to experience it for the first time with all of you. But some of the common things people are saying about the game. Number one, it's the most polished Bethesda open world RPG ever made. Even though it's not flawless, it definitely feels more stable than any other open world RPG ever at launch. Because you remember how wonky some of these RPGs have been. Remember Fallout New Vegas, people fusing to the ceiling. Remember Skyrim, where the dragons looked like Barney dinosaurs of big globulous purple goo. We go on and on about all these launch day bugs. Apparently this game doesn't have that many, which is obviously good. Although they are present, they're not like game breaking and ridiculous. A lot of people are saying essentially this is what you always wanted. Fallout and Skyrim in space. If you're looking past that for more, you're not going to get it. That's essentially what it is. So if you're a fan of Bethesda RPGs, and that's what you're looking for, you're really going to like Starfield. But if you were looking for them to reinvent the wheel, you're not going to get that here. And a lot of people may be disappointed if you're looking for truly like, oh, this is the new next generation RPG experience. It's not. It's just not. You're going to get what you should be expecting and nothing more than that. And I think some people will be disappointed with that. It's 2023, and we're still going to be playing, essentially, an open-world Bethesda game that doesn't feel that innovative from anything else you've done before. I can understand why some people are like, what gives? I mean, isn't this like the 10th one like this now? Right? Yeah, every Elder Scrolls game, every Fallout game since Fallout 3, and now this, and they're all the same, right? I think that's a fair enough criticism, that some people may actually be able to validly criticize the game with that. Now, I've heard some really annoying things, like I've heard the inventory system sucks ass. I'm like, wait a minute, it's 2023 and Bethesda doesn't know how to work inventory in an RPG yet? They haven't figured this out yet. Everyone is agreeing. I'm not even kidding. Like across the board, everyone who's played Starfield is like, no, the inventory is really bad. We don't know why they still haven't improved this shit. Which is hilarious. Also, here's a common thing that a lot of people are saying, all right? This game would have been very much improved if there were maps for local areas. Apparently, there is no map for the towns and stuff in the game. So you'll wander into a town for the first time and be looking around, and of course you want to explore, but let's say you're coming back to the town for the second time, or what if you're desperately low on health, or you're over encumbered, you want to sell your items, you have no idea where to go because there's no map. So you got to wander around and waste your time walking in circles till you find what you're looking for. And as you know, with these Bethesda games, with some of the sprawling settlements and stuff, it may take a while to find stuff. Why they didn't have maps in an RPG in 2023? Again, I mean, the things I'm hearing, I kind of have to agree with. Yeah, the game should have a fucking map. That sounds pretty stupid to me, right? Now, there seems to be one thing that a lot of people are saying, which again, no spoilers, thankfully. These people wrote some pretty good reviews for the game. That apparently, let's listen to this. The game's story, if you take your time, can take 60 hours. If you absolutely rush through the story and do nothing else but main story missions, the story of Starfield is 20 hours long. Okay? But what a lot of people who reviewed this game are saying is, this game gets incredibly good once you beat the story. And that's what I don't understand, and I'm happy I don't, because I don't want spoilers of what's going on. But apparently something happens after you beat the story that just makes the game better to play and explore and understand. And I don't know. I don't want to know. All I know is something's going to happen at the end of the story that makes the game better, and that's it. So there was actually one reviewer, he was like, I kind of heard about this, so I ran through the story. I beat it in 20 hours, and now I've played 40 hours of exploration doing all the side content, and I love this game so much. I actually didn't like it that much during the story, but I love it now that I beat the story. And I'm like, what could that be? Do the Brother Moons come awake, and you have to do alien invasion missions or something? Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird. It's a weird thing to say, but that's what everyone is kind of saying. Okay? So I really don't know. I'm confused, and I guess we'll have to find out for ourselves. Really, we'll have to just find out for ourselves. Now, here's the thing. Am I going to rush the story? No. I'm going to play it like any other Bethesda RPG. I'm going to play it and enjoy it at my own pace. We're going to do side content. We're going to be exploring. We're going to be doing fun stuff. What I'm hoping is that, like other Bethesda games, you're going to become immersed in the world, and everywhere you go, here's a new quest, here's a new interesting thing going on, and you kind of lose your way. I like that about Bethesda RPGs. You can show up in a new settlement, and you're there to do one mission, but then you find 20 more, and you just end up having so much fun doing all the content in that area that you don't care that you didn't do the story right away. Like, I'm totally okay with that, right? So I certainly hope that that's the case. I don't want... Here's the thing. Here's my fear. This week, I'm playing it today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Tuesday minimum. I may even play it again on Wednesday. Starfield, that is. So you're talking, that's a good 12 to 14 hours of gameplay. If by the end of this week, we've played for 14 hours, and it doesn't feel like the game is fun yet, that's a fucking problem. All right? I hate to say it, too many game developers in the modern day are taking too long to get to the good parts of their games. They think that every video game you buy is a full-time time investment for you. At least they seem to be acting like that. Like, I'm going to sit here and play your game for 25 hours before I have fun. No, I buy a video game to have fun when I start playing it, not 20, 30 hours in. If I buy Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and immediately at the beginning of the game, I try to go in one direction, and I'm completely, boom, hit with a brick wall because everything there is overpowered, but you didn't tell me not to go that way, that's a flaw of your game. If everywhere I go, there's content that's completely superfluous and doesn't add anything to the game, it just feels like busy work, that's a flaw of your game's design. Okay, that's not good content, that's trash. And that means that you basically did not ask gamers what's meaningful to them. You just felt like putting shit into your game that's tedious. I don't want to spend launch week of Starfield wasting my time being bored, and then when finally the game gets good the middle of September, well, guess what? Now we got Lies of P, now we got Mortal Kombat 1, now we got the expansion character for Street Fighter 6 at the end of the month. That's not when I want Starfield to be good. I want Starfield to be good now, when I start fucking playing it. So if this game sucks ass for the first dozen hours, Bethesda fucked up. And I'm going to call it out and say that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They need to make a good game from the start. They better figure this shit out. It's pretty sad that I keep hearing these things about these new games and they just don't fucking know what they're doing. Like, what? Do you understand what a video game is supposed to be? It's supposed to be you're unplugging from the real world, you're sitting down in a fantasy environment, and you're enjoying yourself. It's that simple. That's the premise of a video game. And it could be a puzzle game, a sim game, an RPG, a fighting game, a platformer, a racing game, a sports game, a shooter. As long as you're pulling yourself out of reality, and you're going into a fantasy environment, and you're enjoying yourself, you've made a successful video game. Seriously. If I'm playing this game, and I'm not having fun, that's a problem. Not, oh, well, it's okay. The first 20, 30 hours are supposed to be boring. Then the game gets good. Then you didn't make a good game. You have failed. And that's going to be sad because this game needs to be good. Bethesda really needs a good one, and man, does Microsoft need a good one. Right now, they both have a bad track record. So they need a big one to redeem it. All right? So what's going to happen? I don't know. We're going to find out, okay? Together. Because we're going to do this exploration. We're going to do all this together. And I hope that you guys will join me for this journey. Because like I said, as I'm approaching playing Starfield, I got an open mind. I'm going to approach it like any other Bethesda RPG. But I'm approaching it more as like an observational experiment. Will this game actually be good? Will it not? I will tell you my honest feelings. I don't have to lean either way. I have nothing to benefit from saying it's the best game ever, it's the worst game ever, it's somewhere in between. I don't benefit by doing any of those things, you understand? I'm not going to get clickbait views on hateful content, and I'm not going to get a bunch of praise and rewards for saying the game is great. None of that. I can be honest with you guys because that's the unique position I find myself in as a 15-year creator on YouTube because I walked a different path from everybody else. So, let's see what happens. Here's the thing. I take everything that I hear about these games with a grain of salt. Because just to give you some perspective here, Some people, like I said, have said this game is like a 5 out of 10. IGN and GameSpot gave it a 7 out of 10. But a lot of outlets are giving it 8 to 10 out of 10. That's a huge discrepancy. I mean, you're going from between saying the game is barely average to the game is just slightly above average but not great and a disappointment to this game is one of the best games of all time. What is that discrepancy, right? Do people have agendas? Either way. So you can't really trust any of it. And I think that's why we're finding ourselves in a really unique position. Because we don't know what's going to happen as I play this game. And that's a cool feeling. The first major game of this busy fall gaming season is a big question mark, which lets us all feel that it's that feeling of we're crossing a new frontier. We're going into something truly untreaded. Will it be good? Will it be bad? Will we find somewhere in between? Let's find out for ourselves, right? Let's see what happens. I know it's funny because some people are saying IGN laughing out loud. Their scores are never scaled properly. You know, they said Knack was better than this game. They said that Deathloop is a 10 out of 10. Deathloop. Fucking Deathloop was a 10 out of 10 to IGN. I know. So, let's see. Let's see how things go starting today. And this should be definitely an interesting experiment and an interesting time. I'm excited. So, let's now get into the schedule so you guys know what to expect this week before we get into the Phil's Day Off and the gaming news segments. Today it is Starfield here on the first stream, my premiere stream of the game. I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.